CQ RAYNET, CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4, November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Golf Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. Primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic, news, opinions and information. Additional information can be found on the RAYNET UK website, which can be found at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls must be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. If you want to leave after subsequent turns, please make it clear that you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat what I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, please do a try again, and I will call for strays at the end of the check-in sequence for anybody who's missed their turn. So I'll now begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET UK weekly activity net, as usual in call sign number order. So starting with stations figure 8 in that call sign, please go ahead now. This is G4 and RC.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie. Good afternoon, Greg.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Mike, good afternoon, Greg.
G4 NRC has got Phil, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, and Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Any other 8s, please? G4 NRC, over. No more 8s, so let's have stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 NRC, over. Golf 7, November Echo Hotels, G7.
Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone.
C has got Graham, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, and thanks for running the stream today, Graham. And Dave, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Any other 7s, please? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard, so stations figure 6 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, Chris in Ipswich.
G4 and RC's got Chris, Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo. Good afternoon to you. Any other 6s, please? G4 and RC, over. Hey, nothing heard. G4 and RC, any stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, no 5s, so let's try for stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, second call for any stations with figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, no fours, so we'll go for threes. Stations for figure 3 and their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 3, Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian.
No traffic. In and out. Choose.
G4 and RC, okay, interesting. Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, got you Ian, good afternoon, no problems. Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel, good afternoon Chris, copied you in and out, missed the first part of your call because you doubled with Ian, but it seamlessly switched from one set of audio to the next. Any other threes please, G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard, so we'll go for the twos, aiming at the intermediate twos, but any stations with 2 in their call sign, please go ahead now, G4 and RC, over.
2 Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra. Colin, group controller from Midway, in and out this weekend.
G4 and RC, he's got Colin, 2 Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, good afternoon to you, copied in and out. Any other twos please, G4 and RC, over. For an RC, then it's the ones, stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
G1 OFL, Medway Raynet, Aussie, in and out.
And surprised still to be here. Over.
G4 and RC, getting some interesting doubling today. Good afternoon, Aussie. Golf 1 Oscar Foxtrot Lima from Medway, copied you in and out. Golf Mike 1 X-Ray Echo Alpha, you doubled with Aussie, so just got the latter part of your over. Guess surprised to be here as you haven't had a call out yet. Peter, are you staying with the net, just to confirm, over?
Yes, ambulance service willing, over.
G4 and RC, okay, doubled and managed a timeout as well. Right, so that's finished the ones. Let's go for the Mike 0 stations. Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier. Please go ahead now. G4 and RC, over.
Mike 0 Tango Golf Charlie David, in and out, thanks Greg, over.
Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee. Good evening, Greg and everybody.
M0 JSA, Alan, good evening, in and out please. Mike 0 Whiskey X-Ray Golf, Shirley in Cornwall, in and out. Thank you, Greg.
Mike 0 in your Tango Mike, Andy with Shirley, in and out. Thank you, Greg.
G4 and RC, at appropriate time just to say yes, I am logging on my own again today. So, David, Mike Zero Tango Golf Charlie, copied you in and out. Must post a report about the HF conditions soon, so sorry I haven't done that. Guy, Mike Zero Golf Uniform Yankee, staying with us. Alan, Mike Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha, copied you in and out. I had some dead air from you initially, though. So not quite sure what's going on. And Mike Zero Whiskey X-Ray Golf Shirley, and Mike Zero India Tango Mike Andy, both in and out. Good afternoon to you. Any other Mike Zero stations, please, of any regional secondary identifier, over? For an RC, nothing hurts. Let's go for the Golf Zero. Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please go ahead now, over.
Golf Zero Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, Richard East Suffolk Raynet in and out.
Chief for an RC. Okay, Richard, Golf Zero Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, got you copied in and out. Golf Whiskey Zero Juliet Lima X-Ray, you only came through on the RAYNET server side and didn't make it through to Brandmeister for some reason. Could you just go again, Andy, because I didn't copy whether you were in and out or not. GW0JLX, G for an RC, over.
G4NRC, GW0JLX. Yes, good afternoon, Greg. In and out, thank you. In and out, no traffic this afternoon, over.
G4. Try again, sisters, being slow to respond. GW0JLX, G for an RC. Okay, copied in and out, Andy, thanks for that, and you made it to both sides of the bridge that time. Any other Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please? G for an RC, over. Okay, nothing heard. Any UK stations wishing to join the net who missed their turn? If you'd like to call now, this is G for an RC, over.
Yeah, G4NRC. This is, slight UK station. Italy 2, stroke George 4 Echo, Kilowatt, Mexico. Steve, Northumbria, RAYNET. No traffic.
G for an RC, returning to Italy 2 / Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike. Steve, I got ahead of you on Facebook. I knew where you were and started typing the I2 in before you even said it. Good afternoon to you. Hopefully Italy is treating you better than the weather might have been if you'd stayed in Northumberland. Any other any other UK stations waiting to call in? G4 and RC, over? Other UK stations, so any international liaison stations, that's no Samband of Norway, RAYNET in Ireland, we've got stations in Slovakia, possibly Slovenia. Any international stations, please call in now. G4 and RC, over.
Lima Alpha 6 India Mike, name is Hans, in and out.
Echo India 5, India Echo Bravo. Tom here in Dublin, no traffic for me, Greg, so in and out.
This is G4 and RC. I've got Hans Lima Alpha 6 India Mike, Tom Echo India 6 India Echo, India Echo 5 India Echo Bravo. Any other international stations, please? G4 and RC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard, and Hans and Tommy both noted as in and out, since I realised I forgot that. Okay, good afternoon everybody. A reminder that the net is being live streamed by Graham, G7 and the H to YouTube today. Live stream and recording are available by searching G7 NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on youtube.com. But sorry viewers, no tinsel visible on the live stream today. I'm not that Christmassy. So, as you will have noticed, the RAYNET-UK server's back in action this week for the net, thanks to Guy working hard to fix it remotely. 12 stations did the right thing last week and fell back to try Brandmeister 23531 when they didn't get through on the RAYNET-UK server. So it should probably be a useful reminder that if you don't get through on one system, be it Fusion, Brandmeister, or our own server, then please do try another one so you get some confidence that it isn't your equipment at fault. It's a bit late for us to send letters to Santa, but be assured we are thinking about the longer-term resilience of the system. Hopefully, for most people, the current period of cold weather this week is coming to an end, and the gas and electricity networks responded to the increased demand well, which did in the end go beyond the predictions for this time of year. The forecast for the next couple of weeks as we get back into windier weather and fewer people working is that we have much more healthy margins for electricity, at least over the next 14 days. The change in weather, though, has brought more widespread weather alerts, so I'm interested if anybody's affected by those at the moment. Finally, for those who don't listen to the live stream beyond this point, given the way the calendar works, the next two nets are scheduled for Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and it doesn't feel appropriate to have formal nets on those days, since we will all be doing family battles over the Monopoly board or whatever other family games we get on with over holiday periods. So that makes the next formal net the 8th of January 2023. But as always, if you need support, then please give a call on the talk group. Okay, that's all I've got for church notices this week, so I'll start the list with Phil, Golf 8, Kilo Lima Charlie, G4NRC, over.
It's G4NRC, G8KLC. Very good afternoon to you, Greg, and everybody else on the net. Yeah, okay, about last weekend. Perfect storm here, almost. I knew my Pi-Star had gone down, or certainly didn't seem to be playing properly. Trying to sort that out, I realised that the RAYNET server was down. I haven't thought of wandering off onto the Brandmeister server, I must admit. But I did spend several hours, and still got some more to do, in sorting out a more logical programming pattern on the handheld, and completely rebuilding the Pi-Star using a new SD drive, and realising that I hadn't done a backup from the old one, so that took me longer than it should have done. But we all seem to be up and running now, which is good. Apologies to Guy for filling up his log sheets. I think I've tried every channel I have access to at least twice, just to make sure that the programming was right. So maybe a slightly artificial workload. Anyway, nothing more. I'll just listen. G4NRC, G8KLC.
KLC, G4NRC returning. Okay, copy, you're just listening, so I've marked you out on this one. Yes, it's avoiding that perfect storm. We did have it, I was thinking when I was doing the script a couple of years ago where things would go wrong and people would immediately go into rebuilding Pi-Stars. I think it's just we've got 2 or 3 networks now to play with in some areas, so it should be a quick check what else has gone wrong. But glad you did get the time spent productively, and a backup is always a useful thing, as I'm sure Guy will reinforce soon. Okay, thanks Phil. Have a good Christmas. Next to Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC from G8EY. Yes, interesting. Yes, I noticed the slight problem with the network. I immediately actually went to the live stream. well, not immediately, because I talked to Bob first. But went to the live stream, noticed that the net was going on, and got the information on what the problem was by watching the live stream. So it really does help. Apart from that, weather here is 1.6 centigrade, 1015 millibars, 92% relative humidity, 100% cloud cover and drizzle, winds 14.2 miles per hour from 164 degrees. We've had no call-outs and no obvious alerts, apart from plenty of Met Office ice warnings. I've also ticked off my bucket list, working my way through to get access to the Brandmeister help desk, which I achieved eventually. Took some work, but we've managed to sort out some problems between Brandmeister and Radio ID. So all that business with having two IDs for one call sign has been sorted. Otherwise, nothing else to add at this point. I'll await any other comments. From G8EEY.
Yankee G4NRC returning. Okay, yes, thanks for that reminder about the Brandmeister help desk. I saw your email. As you know, we were slightly distracted with other things last week. Normally, to get prompt help on Brandmeister, you have to load a Telegram instant messaging app and communicate with them via Telegram. But my slight concern there is that we don't want people raising RAYNET-UK server issues on the Brandmeister group, because they can be a little bit prickly with random inquiries. So glad you've got it resolved. They usually do point things back to being a radio ID database error rather than anything themselves. But at least you are sorted. Okay, thanks, Mike. I'll think of something for the second round for you. But next, it's Graham, Golf 7, November Echo Hotel, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G7LH. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone on the net. And last week's figures, we had about 16 views and about 3 likes. I'll double check that before the next round. But not a lot else to report this end. I've noted there will be no net for the next 2 weeks, so I will stick a post out on YouTube so people know about that if they're not listening or watching today. With that, back to you. G4NRC, G7LH.
NEH, G4NRC returning. Yes, Graham, it's a bit of a unilateral decision, no net for the next 2 weeks, but thanks for putting the reminder out on YouTube. But it struck me it's a lot more of a team effort now, the net, because you're running the stream. Trevor, when he's with us, and Trevor's unfortunately not very well at the moment, has got the logging to do, so it's not just me being put out, it's others as well. So I figured let's take advantage of the Gregorian calendar, which usually makes it my fault anyway, and have no net for the next 2 weeks, just leave it random. Heading towards Dave, just in case anybody's aware, if anybody can hear the 3D printers whining in the background, because I'm making adapters for my early Christmas presents I got for the National Ham Fest of an FT818. So we'll have lots of fun when we do have the next net, hearing about people's new Christmas presents. M7AVO, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. Santa's not been yet. I'm just hoping it'll be here for Tuesday if we can get it up and running for our net. I've been working some strange hours and didn't want to get the DPD man, whoever it is, who comes round leaving something like that on the doorstep. We're just only one foot up yet, and hopefully we'll be up and running with an early Christmas present next week. But yeah, no problem, Greg. Back to you, and catch you on the next round. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
Try that again after that horrendous packet loss. M7AVO, G4 and RC returning. Okay, Dave, well, at least you know Santa comes in a DPD van or whatever, and we can get a clue what the date is. I just hope the delivery is appreciated by all in the household about how quiet it'll keep you on Christmas Day. If not, there will be a memorial service for Dave, I'm sure, some point in the new year. Next to Chris, Golf 6, Papa Delta Echo, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC, this is G6PDE. Good afternoon all. Well, just survived a 23-hour outage from of broadband from courtesy of Vodafone, who passed the buck to OpenReach. Had a frantic pulling out of the Freeview box and getting that plugged in and working, just in case the broadband wasn't up in time for my wife to watch Strictly Come Dancing last night. But in fact, both were working, so there's no problem in the end. Had also a little reminder myself that the Raspberry Pis have no real-time clocking, as I went to have a play with JS8 call while their broadband was down, and of course the clock had to go. I had to manually set the clock on the Raspberry Pi and remember how to use date, which took a little dig in my memory to remember what the format of the date was. Other thing to mention is you mentioned APRS on ESP32s a couple of weeks ago. I came across an implementation on the ESP32 by an amateur from Thailand. All I've managed to do so far is clone it onto a local PC and build it and download it onto an ESP32 development board. That's as far as I've got. I haven't even managed to configure it yet. It requires you to log in over Wi-Fi. It runs as a Wi-Fi access point. Then you log in over Wi-Fi and configure that from there on. But that bit I can't seem to get to work. Back to you, Greg. G4 NRC from G6PDE.
G6PDE, G4 and RC returning. Plenty to pick through there, Chris. So the live stream will have seen me do the when you mentioned the Thai APRS program, because I do remember seeing that in passing browsing the internet months ago. It's probably a bookmark I've now lost somewhere, so I'll go hunting again, because I seem to remember getting excited about that last time. Raspberry Pis and no real-time clock. True, but I've got a Raspberry Pi with a real-time clock, and for whatever reason it doesn't seem to hold the time very well. So there is the fallback on JS8 call that you can leave it, if you can get it close enough to within a couple of seconds of your watch, then you can let the JS8 call software move its time reference to match what everybody else is doing. So you can eventually join in the rest of the herd after listening for a few cycles. And 23 hours outage of broadband, I agree, is definitely not fun when you have mission-critical television programs to have available. I'm sure there must be some people sulking that they can't watch the World Cup at the moment if they're in a similar situation. But at least it got fixed and it wasn't held up by various degrees of strike action and other things. Okay, Chris, I'll think more on that for the next round, but next to Ian, Golf 3, Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC in the group, good evening, and happy Christmas, since we're not having a meeting next week, which doesn't surprise me. I was away last Sunday, and when I got back on Monday, I was quite surprised to see that nobody had been on for the network, looking at the RAYNET dashboard. And later, looking at G7NEH, I saw that you had in fact had the network, and you were using Brandmeister to do it. Well, I've got a Brandmeister login, and I've just spent half an hour this afternoon trying to reconnect to Brandmeister, and I see they updated their keys in August, and the one I was using was obsolescent, if not totally obsolete. and I've made 2 attempts to get onto Brandmeister, and it's not working. Well, I have managed in the past, so it must be possible. But I thought I'd better stop, or I wouldn't be able to talk to you on the net today. It looks as though I'm still connected, and I'm sure you'll comment. Oh, and regarding Chris G6PDE's comment about resetting Pi-Star's clock, you should be able to use Network Time Protocol, I'd have thought. If it's clever enough to connect to the internet, it should be clever enough to do that. I was able to use NTP on a very stupid PIC when I was working with internet support at work, and it certainly doesn't seem to be that difficult, at least to get within a second. Anyhow, I'll leave that to you to dig into, and we'll see how this goes. Please confirm you're receiving me, G3ZHX.
G3ZHX, G4NRC, all received with just 1% packet loss. Yeah, Chris's problem was he had no broadband network, therefore NTP wouldn't work. So then using a Raspberry Pi without a real-time clock meant it was a bit dumb knowing what the time was, so couldn't work a time-synchronized mode like JSA call or indeed FT8 or any of the others. So, yeah, nice idea, almost leading you towards the other trick for getting around this problem, which is to have a tame GPS receiver on your Raspberry Pi. So it gets around misperforming real-time clocks, but instead does pick up the time signal from the passing satellites as a means of synchronizing. So, Chris, that might be another way of thinking things through. There's little USB dongles, about 15 quid, I think, on Amazon, which will do that. Graham will remind me because we both got them and we saw them on OH8 STN's channel. But okay, Brandmeister API keys, I'll let Guy try and talk his way through that one if he has to later, and make sure you don't inadvertently cross streams. But everything worked that time, Ian. Okay, next to Peter, if he's not been called out. Golf Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, G4 and RC, over.
G4NRC from GM1XCA, yes, I'm still here. RAYNET-wise, nothing to report up in this part of the world. We are enjoying a balmy 3 degrees centigrade right now, which is the highest it's been for more than a week, and things are thawing and dripping on me all over the place. And only other struggle I have today is I have a new ambulance service call sign as of today, so I have to remember to use that and not the old one. It's only 1 digit different, which actually makes it harder to remember. Nothing else from this end, so back to you, Greg. Over.
Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, G4 and RC returning. Yes, I have a slight wobbly head at work because somebody recall signed everything at work and totally changed the system round to the point that I hear a call sign, and in my head I know who it should be by role, and it's something totally different now. I think one digit different would probably have been easier. Anyway, your point about 3 degrees locally, highest for more than a week, does kind of reinforce the changes coming. Some areas having double-digit temperatures this week, which is why we will hopefully have better conditions and a healthier power system. Okay, Peter, thanks for that report. Next to Guy. Mike 0, Golf Uniform Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC M0GY. Good evening, all. Yes, troubling last week. I suffered a semi-catastrophic multi-disc failure in a RAID. Now I use a file server called TrueNAS using ZFS.
and unfortunately it failed sufficient number of drives that it became unstable, and the database is stored on the TrueNAS server, which caused the RAYNET DMR network to go away, and it fell away about 10 minutes before the net was due to start, rather annoyingly. So was not able to recover it in time for the net, but did get it back again shortly thereafter, restoring from a backup that was taken on Sunday morning. Later on, next day, Monday, I think, the virtualization server itself decided to take a nosedive, and that required again restoring from the backup that was taken on Sunday. So some people did notice that they'd made some configuration changes, and then suddenly they hadn't been stored. So I must apologise for that. I'm still suffering with some disk issues. Only got back from Germany on Friday night, so haven't had a chance to do much with it at the moment. But my next tasks are to restore the RAID. I've got some replacement drives, and then reassociate things. Not entirely sure why it's all failed. I suspect it could be temperature related for the drives, as it is currently quite chilly in the server room, as I like to call the garage, and I think that's upset some of the drives, certainly the high capacity drives, 4 terabytes drive stores are very sensitive to changes in climate and so forth. Anyway, so at the moment we're limping along. We are doing regular backups of the data set, so if we do have failures, we can restore from those points forward. I'm just actually about to change it to do more frequent backups, so hopefully less data loss options. But there may be some more losses in service while I transition things across. So if there is, then please also revert back to Brandmeister, or hold fire, and hopefully within half an hour or so it will be back online. But I'm trying to minimise those times, but I do need to reconstruct the drives and the RAID, so that's I'm trying to do that while not affecting the server operation. So interesting dance to work around. As for radio work, nothing at all, because I've been in Germany and haven't had an opportunity to touch a radio. So this is the first time I've touched one in a week. Anyway, with that, I shall pass it back to you, Greg, and thanks for running the net. This is M0GY, passing back to G4 NRC. G4 NRC returning to Mike Zero Golf Uniform Yankee in the RAYNET-UK net. Thanks for the description, Guy, and thanks for everything you've done in getting it back to working again. At some point, yeah, we'll have that nice long whiteboard session about how things could be moved around a bit, maybe, and get extra resilience in the system, because it has been, to be fair, very resilient so far. I've not kept hours of uptime or downtime logs, but I think it's more than anybody might have expected when we started doing this. Okay, heading to the last station on the list for the moment, in far warmer climes, is about to make us jealous. Italy 2/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike. Over to you, Steve. G4 NRC. Over.
Yeah, G4NRC, Italy 2/G4 EPM. Buonasera tutti. No, it's not in warmer climates. It's currently 1 degree here in the mountains. It's warmed up today. The snow which arrived at my height level started to dissipate yesterday. It was an interesting journey coming down from Rotterdam through from Germany on Wednesday. Germany was horrendous. Never got above about -4 I think I drove about 300 miles through falling snow, so it was quite an interesting journey coming down. But RAYNET-wise, just a bit of news. I think you probably are aware of this, Greg, but Sunderland RAYNET and Northumberland RAYNET have now combined powers, and we are now known as Northumbria RAYNET. So we actually cover the counties of Northumberland and Tyne and Wear. So there's a few little things that we need to just get sorted out with getting new cards issued, etc. But that's what we are officially now, and I'm still the group controller now of Northumbria RAYNET. Somebody mentioned about APRS, and one of the things that I did do, I reconfigured one of my T-beams, which is the ESP32 device from Liligo, and I reconfigured that so it fell in line with the European frequencies of 433.775, which is obviously RAYNET frequency in the UK. And if anybody wants to check on aprs.fi, you can actually follow my track from last Wednesday. It would be G4 EKM -6. And I got tracked all the way from Rotterdam right down to, I think it was well into Switzerland, put it that way, well into Switzerland. So I was well impressed with that. 100 milliwatts into a little stubby antenna on the top of the car, which is only about 3 inches in height. So it worked very well. One thing as well, in this month's Radcom, there was a feature about LoRa and APRS from a French amateur. And of course, they were using the standard European frequency of 433.775, which we're not allowed to use, obviously, in the UK. So I'm gonna send a message to RSGB to put on what the correct frequency is for the UK, which I can't remember off the top, but I will put it on, because obviously I'm running that as one of my local nodes. So that's about it from me, and I'm still watching the World Cup final, but I've got it on mute at the moment. And if anybody's interested, France has just scored. This is Italy 2 stroke G4 EKM.
Italy 2 / Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4 and RC returning. Okay, thanks for that. Plenty for me to type into the log. I've opened Radcom, haven't read it in full yet. There was something in the letters page that referring to the previous month that was going to make me have to do a look back and check anyway. So if things go well over Christmas, which at the moment is no more than 50-50, we will see if I get some reading time and see what I can get sorted out here. Interesting though, the comments about APRS in Germany, when we went on holiday there more frequently, because they weren't as readily allowed to use internet linking as the UK was, it was far easier, and I could use APRS to access WinLink email through a gateway in Luxembourg over 3 or 4 hops, and the network would quite easily stand up to doing that. Whereas in the UK, and there's an observation I've seen somewhere on one of the social media sites, coverage looks good, but when you dig into it, it's a lot of mobile phones on APRS. It isn't actually a radio connected or even a bidirectional iGate. So, okay, that concludes the first round. So let's go round for any seconds, see if any questions have been raised and any answers appropriate from people for what's been discussed. So it's to Mike next then. Golf 8, Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Yes, interestingly, comment on 23531 and the updated keys. Obviously, I tried to use Brandmeister when the RAYNET server went down, but I couldn't get any result at all on 23531 on a different radio, which I normally use when we do things like that. I must admit I was on a different hotspot, but then again, the original hotspot, which I now have on, which has got the updated keys in, and I still can't make 23531 work through the normal radio. So it's something I'm going to have a look at, because having the backup also going away didn't help a lot. Apart from that, I don't think I've got anything further, so I should be going back to playing hotspots for the rest of the day, I should imagine, from G8EEY, over.
Golf 8, Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC returning. Yeah, I switched to the new Brandmeister API keys as soon as the warning flag appeared on the PyStar dashboard, thinking it says it's going to be a while for a changeover, but I'm bound to forget. So for me, it was purely just changing the key in the appropriate part of PyStar through the admin page and the expert page to drop the new key in. And everything worked okay. I haven't had to make any changes. No changes should be needed or required to any scripts. But, okay, looks like a growing little bit of education required, or maybe just put the link in just to show people where the instructions were. Okay, thanks for coming on today, Mike. Next to Graham, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, G4 and RC, over. G0DUB, about 50% packet loss, over. For NRC, I'll tell you what, we'll do Dave next, and then we'll come back to Graham again just to be sure. Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, what net is it this week? Dave, is it 60 metres, which means it's going to be an 80 metre net, I think. M7 AVO G4 NRC, over.
G4 NRC. Right, 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Yeah, I'm thinking it's 60, Greg. That's why I was hoping to have the new toy in and fired up, because the 60 metre antenna is there. But if 80 metres, that shouldn't be a problem either for me. Just drop us a quick message. You'll let us know what's happening. As for Graham, G7NEH, I didn't get anything at all this end from him, bar a few clicks and squeaks. So I don't know what's happening there. But hand it back to you, and hopefully speak to you on Tuesday night, and wish the rest of the net all the best, a very happy Christmas, and enjoyable New Year. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, G4 and RC. Yeah, 2 nets for us, isn't it, this week? So we've got our West Cheshire Group net on the 20th, HF net on the 21st, and somehow I'll get reminders out of both of them. Okay, G7NEH, G7NEH, you back with us, G0, correction, G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard. Gonna guess that we've got a flat battery or something happening. So we shall carry on down the list while I one finger type and talk. To Chris, who's now given me the mission of going back through my browsing history over a few months to find that APRS program for ESP32. Golf 6, Papa Delta Echo, G4 and RC, over.
G4NRC from G6PDE. No, I've saved you that chore, Greg. I've just emailed you a link to the GitHub repository of the thing I mentioned. Send it to your RAYNET account, email account, so you'll be able to see that. Yes, thanks for the comments on using USB GPS dongles and all this sort of thing. I was thinking of various scenarios like that. The solution I use is I've got a clock in the shack which is linked via one of the radio time services. I forget where the radio thing is. It used to be rugby at one stage, I think. But so I used that to set the time via eye. So it wasn't completely accurate, but it was good enough. And I think I might have a play. I've got some GPS, little serial GPS modules, but a USB one's probably easier. I just put it on a long cable and stick it near the window. Somebody mentioned the TTGO things. I'm not sure I got the same thing, but I bought a couple of TTGO modules a year or so ago that work on the ISM 800 megahertz band. But I'm a bit not completely clear in my mind how these things interwork with the APRS network. I'm not sure whether they're running, the connection is just through APRS-IS or whether there's an actual amateur network running on 433 megahertz, or it's just the LoRaWAN network. The thing I played with was running on LoRaWAN, so it was ISM, so it didn't need an amateur license. Anyway, that's all for me today. Back to you, Greg. G4NRC from G6PDE.
G4NRC returning. Yes, the radio-linked clock used to be at Rugby, which I believe is now pretty much a housing estate, or the bits that matter are. The radio signal now on 60 kilohertz comes from Anthorn in Cumbria. So quite a way north, right on the Solway Firth. And that's the signal. That is my other option. But she reminded me, my web SDR decided to curl its toes up partway through this week, and it didn't go through a reboot, so that's something else I would really like to get working again today, because that will also do time decode for me and help set things. Okay, sure. Steve will have a chat to you about the TTGO modules if you're not too late, but thanks for sending me the link to GitHub. Be appreciated. Okay, next to Ian for a final. Golf 3, Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4NRC, over.
M0 XRS.
Yeah, it's Ian G3ZHX. Yes, I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to teach Granny to suck eggs. I missed the bit about trying to reset the clock while the power was out. I had assumed it was after the power had been restored. Sorry, broadband in your case. I had a power outage on Tuesday, so my mind's kind of focused on power outages. Okay, yeah, I don't have anything further to add to that, and look forward to seeing you all in January. Thanks for running the net, Greg, and Merry Christmas to you all. This is G3ZHX.
G4NRC in the RAYNET-UK activity period. Okay, thanks, Ian. Yeah, I thought you might just have missed that little bit of context, so not a problem. Out of sequence, but he chipped in nicely. Mike 0, X-Ray Romeo Sierra. Chris, do you want to go ahead? G4NRC, over.
Yeah, many thanks, Greg. Chris, Mike 0, X-Ray Romeo Sierra, currently mobile. Just thought I'd catch the tail end there on my way home from work, so just thought I'd quickly check in. Thank you.
Zero X-Ray Romeo Sierra, G4NRC. No problem, Chris. Not sure how long you've been listening for. Might give you a quick shout when we get to the bottom of the list, but there are too many stations to go. But be safe driving home. Not sure what conditions are like outside yet, but I'm sure I'll find out soon when somebody comes home. Okay, next for a final, let's back up to the not so frozen north anymore. Golf Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, G4NRC, over.
G4.
Golf Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, lots of packet loss, Peter. Try again, G4NRC, over. G4NRC. Curious, that's the same way that NEH went off the net. Hold NEH and XCA as strays for the end. Moved out to Guy, see if you've got any inspiration. Otherwise, spoil me with a story of German Christmas markets, Guy. Mike Zero, Golf Uniform Yankee, G4NRC, over. Mike Zero, Golf Uniform Yankee, G4NRC, over.
Sorry, Mike Zero, Golf Uniform Yankee, G4NRC. Sorry about that. I was in the garage rebooting another box. Nothing much to add other than of the usual. Thank you very much for running the net, Greg, and obviously happy holidays to everybody. And make sure you keep your batteries charged. I'm just charging up all of my high power batteries now to keep us through, and it is absolutely throwing it down with rain at the moment in Buckinghamshire. All right, have a good time, everybody, and I will see you soon. Take care from Mike Zero, Golf Uniform Yankee 73s.
Zero Golf Uniform Yankee, G4NRC. That's okay. Sorry to drag you back out of the boxes in the garage, but I was just having a small panic then that nobody appeared to be working, and then I realised I could see myself on the Brandmeister side, so something had to be getting out. Okay, have fun, Guy. We'll talk to you soon. Next to Steve, Italy 2/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, G4NRC, Italy 2/G4EKM. Yeah, okay, everybody. Just on the LoRa TT Go devices, you can get them on ISM, but you can also get them on 433, which is what I've got mine running on. And again, if you want to create one of the trackers or one of the iGateways, you can just do a search. I think it's just LoRa Tracker, and it takes you to one of the GitHub sites. But I've just had a quick look, so I needed to remind myself. The frequency that seems to be the de facto in the UK now, because it took so long for Steve and Ofcom to allocate the frequency. It's 439.9125. 439.9125. That's the frequency that I use on my iGate and my trackers in the northeast. We've got a couple of iGates installed in the Sunderland area now. It's MB7 USU, United Sierra United. That's the NOV that I've got for that one. But yeah, it works very well on the LoRa stuff. I've had some good distances when I've been experimenting in the northeast, when I've been going to various locations and different RAYNET events and things like that. So very pleased with how things are going. I'm actually going to set the one up here, just as a box standard iGateway, no Digi or anything like that. So that will be appearing on the system very shortly. Just did a quick check on the cameras at home, and I do see that I've still got quite a lot of snow in Sunderland, in my garden and on the driveway, etc. And I think it's about 1 degree still in that neck of the woods anyway. Okay, thanks for running in that, Guy. All the best to one and all. Buona Natale e tutti. This is Italy 2/G4EKM.
/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4NRC returning. Okay, yes, home CCTV tells you what the Met Office would say from here. I'm afraid the northeast is going to be the last one to clear the miserable snowy weather, I think, Steve. So keep watching the cameras, you keep the snowy scenes for longer. Right, let's just try and catch up on our missing stations. Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, are you still with me, Chief or NRC, over?
G4 G7 of the H. Yeah, I did give an over last time, Greg, but I'm guessing nobody heard me. Are you getting this, over?
7 of the H, G4 NRC. Yes, yes, you only got about half a second in last time, Graham, and it went out in a blaze of glory and nothing further received, over.
G7 of the H. Yeah, okay. I have no idea why that was. No idea at all. Just to say that we've had about 7 views on the stream today, about 5 likes. So thank you very much, everybody who's taken the time to tune in, and all those that have subscribed over the past few months to the channel. Very much appreciated. And we'll be obviously streaming again in January, on January the 8th. So there we go. Right, nothing else to add from this end, Greg, and we'll catch up with you in the week, no doubt. G4NRC, G7H.
Try again, seems to be my turn not to get out that time. Golf Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, G4 NRC, over.
Go ahead, Greg. GM1XE.
XCA, G4 NRC. Your second over was totally lost, Peter. There was a blaze of glory after the first half second and about 50% packet loss, and we didn't get a thing from you, over.
I see. That was probably because I was in the garden running back from the garage, having put some stuff in the tumble dryer. It might have just been me shivering. It's not that warm out there. So, I'd say the same. 73 to everybody. Have a Merry Christmas and a good New Year. And we'll catch up with you all in the 8th of January. GM1XCA. Going away. Over.
1X. Certainly doubled then, so Frankie Echo Bravo 5 Tango Tango, just stand by 1. G4 NRC returning. Okay, thanks Peter. Understood when I didn't get you. Before I draw the net to a close, and then have a quick chat to Frank by the looks of it. Chris, Mike 0, X-Ray Romeo Sierra Mobile. Anything from you, Chris, or are we just happy listening? Mike 0, X-Ray Romeo Sierra, G4 NRC, over. G4 NRC, I'll take it that Chris has actually made it home then. Okay, let's bring the net to a close of sorts. So, thanks everybody for taking time out of your schedules to participate this afternoon. Be careful, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and until next Sunday net, which will be the 8th of January in 2023 at 1600 hours local time, I'll close the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net and return the talk groups to an open net rather than a directed one.